Atmanastu kamaya pati priyo bhavati. Nava are jayayai kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Nava are putraya kamaya putraha priya bhavanti. Atmanastu kamaya putra priya bhavati. What is it saying? It's saying nobody loves anybody for anybody, the other person's sake. Everybody loves the other for one's own sake. Who's saying to who? Sage Yajnavalkya is telling his own wife, you don't think, my dear, my beloved, Nava Are is my oh beloved. If you think that you love me for my sake, I know the truth. You love me only for your sake. What do you mean? I have a lovely couple here. Sindhu and Selvam, they are looking at each other. You love me for your sake. Why? Because when you are with me, you are happy. You want happiness. My presence gives you happiness. You don't love me. You love happiness. You love your happiness. That's why the moment I stop giving you happiness, you will show me the door. And therefore, who do you love? You love your happiness. Oh, the wife is very hurt when he spoke like that. But he is a very fair husband, Sage Yajnavalkya. He says, my dear, I also love you not for your sake. I love you because of what you mean to me when I am next to you. The joy you bring in my life, therefore, in your presence I am happy, and therefore happiness is what I love. I love how I feel when you are around me. That means you love yourself, not the other. The same is true for your son, the same is true for anything, for money, for power. Whatever you want in life, you is not for the thing's sake, it is all for my sake, and therefore we are the most self-centered. Since our life is centered on ourselves, the Upanishad says, Atma vare drashtavyaha, therefore, find out who this self is. Your whole life activities is centered around yourself. Now, find out what this self is, who it is, what is its nature. Find out. How will you find out? Shrotavyaha, mantavyaha, nididhyasitavyaha. The tools to find out about the self is this self that you love. Don't think it is that ego self. You are really wanting your highest self. Center your life not on the small self. You know, people put small self with a small I with a dot. But center your life not around the small I, center your life around the big I, the higher self. And how will you do that? You will do that through exposing yourself to the teachings of oneness which reveal the nature of the self. Shravanam, not only exposure to the teachings, reflections of the teachings. Reflections is a process of assimilation. Because when you move towards the higher self, this ego self, the lower self-centered self, the lower self, the ninja, the survivor, is going to fight, is going to put up a big fight. It will justify its existence. It doesn't want to die. It won't allow you to be generous, kind, loving, giving. And therefore you will have this war. War will have to be waged between the higher and the lower. But eventually, with divine intervention, the higher will win. When the higher begins to win and the lower, the ego self begins to retreat, you are on your way to being a sthita prajna, or the person of wisdom and peace. And that is precisely what is being talked about. And therefore, how to train the mind? Shravana Manana Nididhyasanam.